Preparing to live stream.
Cool.
Setting up your YouTube live. Not Siri. Go away. Preparing to live stream. Okay, done.
Done.
Siri's being really. Setting up your YouTube live. Can you hear me? Siri.
Yeah.
Preparing to live Just turn the volume off there. Okay, so it's live. Hi everyone, we're live.
Oh, it is. Okay, fantastic. Hi. We're back. Sorry we missed last week. We both had a timetable clash or like holidays as well, so it just
Yes.
didn't align.
I'm in Tel Aviv now for a
Yes,
few more days.
yes, exactly. And then you're home.
I know. Can't wait. Can't
Hold
wait
on.
to go home.
Yes,
But
yeah.
good work is happening here.
Mhm.
Lots of really cool insights
Insight.
and realizations and writing.
Huge.
Now I can do some writing, which is awesome. Which is what I've been waiting to do for 2.5 months while I was
Yes.
some other learning.
Maybe you can touch on how environment really does impede a creative process. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yes,
that's
environment,
common knowledge,
like
but
metaphysical environment is probably the most important. And
Mhm.
up until now, well, in our recent, sorry, my nose is really blocked. It's hard to express myself.
It
Um,
is like you can hear
so
it.
can you hear me
You're
with my nose?
nasal.
Oh, I can't breathe through my nose. So
Yeah.
yeah, the we think it's the physical environment that we're in, but essentially it's not really. It's the metaphysical environment that we're in because the physical environment really just is an expression or a
Hmm.
manifestation of the metaphysical environment. So I'm okay, I'm sitting on a chair instead of on the floor. I
Oh yeah.
don't care, but I'm still in like a bed sitter kind of space. The only
Hmm.
difference is I have a kitchen and bathroom here. Um, I'm still not going outside very much because it's too humid. Um, and the sun pressure is a lot for my physical system. And I've been thinking about what's the difference between being here and being there. There's not that
Hmm.
much difference. There's a little bit more independence in terms of timing and being able to be guided to go here or go there. So I'm freer in that respect, but also um the metaphysical thought frequency environment being here, no one knows where I am, so there's this elusiveness. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
like you know that I'm in Tel Aviv but
yeah.
you don't know
But
where.
no, I know it's an Airbnb. I know that it's
Yeah,
close to the beach,
and so
but yeah.
my aunt, who I've just been putting a lot of my focus
Mm,
into, and I'm just now writing about how you know the reality of
mm,
your focused attention is where your energy flows, which is your life force. And so
mhm,
if you're focusing your life force energy on another being who runs on life force energy but doesn't have enough of their own, or they don't
mhm.
source it from
Yeah.
the origins of of themselves really, and they're conveniently tapping into the circuit that you have, relational circuit that you have with them. And
Hmm.
they're because you're a giving, balanced, you're connected human,
Yeah.
you have the opportunity to give some of your life force energy through your focus and
Hmm.
your intention and your attention is where the energy can flow. And until you become really conscious of it, you don't understand that you're gifting because they're
Yeah.
requesting. And it's
Hmm.
only when you become really conscious of it that you can actually uh well, you can decide whether it's good or not, whether it's reasonable or not
Well,
to be giving. Is
yeah,
the request valid, or is it time for that
yeah.
person to actually um source it from the original?
Yes, yes. Something that just came to mind was when, we'll go into the topic for today, but looking at how this is also relational to the corporate world where you are told to put your attention 9 to 5 into this project, into this
Yeah.
spreadsheet, into this outcome, and it's not metaphysically like
Well,
a good.
you've agreed to that contract at the beginning of
But
those,
what usually happens is that you agree to that contract and then it changes, and then you haven't
right?
revisited the original.
Which is a
So,
twist to the
yeah.
truth that you agreed to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's also the effect of if you have, which everyone seems to, if you have a relational circuit in your history, your personal history, usually from
Mhm.
when you're a child, because you couldn't have informed consent because,
Yeah.
well, you're a child. And so you weren't
Mhm.
given all opportunities. You were just told this is how this circuit, these are the conditions of this
Mhm.
circuit. So you need to
Mhm.
belong. So you agree to the conditions. And
Mhm.
it twists the truth that used to be part of the cosmic creator, which is the cosmic love and cosmic truth in unity. So it
Mhm.
separates those two by the twist, those conditions separate them, twist the
Mhm.
truth. So
Mhm.
now you're in a contract and you're the empath, you're being told, and you're giving to that circuit. Now
Mhm.
you have that as like a trauma bond that seems to inform all your other circuits that you create as an adult. So when
Yeah.
you agree to your older, more powerful, more authoritative boss, when you create a new circuit of, say, in a work situation, again,
Mm.
you're the one giving, so you're the empath. And now you are embedding a twisted truth from the past, from another
Mm.
circuit, into this circuit. So it's almost like it may not have been said, but I remember when we talked quite a while back with you, I don't know if we were online when we were talking about it, that you had in your subconscious that any relational circuit to do with an authority, like a boss figure or a parent figure, had to, it's like you had to, this was the agreed thing, and then you had to give your soul as well to it. Like you
Mm.
had to give more than what was
Yeah.
being said. And that assumption coming through you is relative to an original relational circuit that's had the truth twisted, because you don't actually have to be, there has to be informed consent. Like
Mhm.
this is universal spiritual law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
So do
it's
you feel like you had informed consent in Base Shiva or where you were before with
no.
okay, so that's probably why it does have that ability to be creative now because you're expanding your metaphysical world is
Well,
clear.
it's interesting
Like,
because I was in contract with my mother, or the
mhm.
mother God, right? Same thing for me. If it's outside of the fourth dimension and it's run by my mother, then it's God
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me. It's a unified cosmic creator
Yeah.
representation, but my mother is representing her
Yeah,
team.
we don't want listeners to get put off by the words that we're using. Please don't let language trigger you too much. We're saying something other than humans,
Yes,
the
well,
big.
more, it's a unified version. So
Yeah.
I don't need to know the details of God. I don't need to know. I
Mhm.
need unification of of the cosmic creator. That's all I need. I need to achieve that. I need to live that. I need to see the world through that perception. And therefore, everything that comes from me will be from that perception. It will roll forward from that. So I don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of,
Yeah.
this is God and this is the conditions. That's all man-made anyway, because this God thing that
Mm.
we can't actually understand what it is unless we
Mhm.
have, say, a near-death experience, or we have a
Yeah.
very, very, mystical, metaphysical experience.
Yeah, a
The
good drug.
closest we're gonna, yeah, maybe through drugs. And then because from an outside source, perhaps it is, perhaps it isn't. There's always doubt, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My experiences of being completely and utterly not just connected. Like connected assumes that there are two things that are connected. It's like a complete and utter embracing and interweaving. Right. So it's
Mm-hmm.
interwoven. For the first 3 years of my physical life, I was also interwoven metaphysically with a unified consciousness. And yes, it's taken me 50 years to undo all the conditions and find out where in these relational circuits there have been twisted truths and worked out. I mean, I've now come to the point where there have been people in my world that they don't want to untwist the truth. But
Mm-hmm.
I found myself not agreeing with that because if you bring it back to there must be informed consent. We have to be told, like
Mm-hmm.
in no uncertain terms, it has to be obviously told to us. We are living in a 3D world. We can't know it in realness unless we see it, unless we hear it. It has to be a
Mm-hmm.
tangible form of informing.
Yeah.
Like people say, that they put the information through Hollywood movies because people watch them. So the idea has been presented in a physical format. Therefore, you can't say you didn't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the universal law of informed consent. And when I was going through my journey, I would not accept another human being that doesn't have greater value than me. We all have the same value. We have
Mm-hmm.
different roles, but we have the same value, and the rules apply to everyone. So if I'm in a relational, I came to understand, like, at the 50-year mark, I came to understand that if I'm in a relational circuit with somebody else, they have the same value as me, they have to follow the same rules as me. And if they twist the cosmic truth and they don't want to untwist it, even if they have been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, there comes a point in time where it's self-evident that the what I'm calling the empath, which is the position that I'm playing in that circuit, and they're the truth twister, right? So I'm trapped. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
trapped empath. They're the truth twister. That's not the end of the story. It has
Mm-hmm.
been for a really long time because the truth twisters have twisted the cosmic truth to make us understand societally that people have higher value than other people. There's a vertical
Yeah.
hierarchy, and that you have informed consent. See, I told you this, or you've assumed that. They
All
let
the
it run
terms
on
and conditions in
assumption.
fine print. And they're like, you agree to it.
Yeah, you kind of agreed to it because you did not agree to it, and alluding to the fact that you've had full informed consent when you haven't. And as soon as you understand what the rules are of the game, and
Mm-hmm.
you understand that you have just as much value in this game as any other entity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand that no, consent was not informed
Mm-hmm.
completely, then you have the power in this metaphysical contract situation to say, well, your contract is not valid anymore. I don't have to be obedient to your twisted truth. Now that I know that it's twisted, I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay with my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have to pay into the energy of this circuit. I don't have to keep the circuit running because I don't agree with your twisted truth. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
waiting and giving you opportunity to come back untwisted and bring it back into unification. But I
Yeah.
realized there are people,
Mm-hmm.
many people in my life, almost all of them, almost at this point, all of them, who
Mm-hmm.
don't, even given the opportunity, even all the information given to them, time given to them, opportunities given to them, they don't want to untwist. They don't want
Yeah.
to. They don't want to lose the situation that they've created by that twist. And
Yeah.
they do not understand yet, not until we get this information out into the world and everyone else starts sharing it through their own avenues. And
Mm-hmm.
it's out there, but it's not mainstream. and it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of been packaged up in part of the woo,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's got to go mainstream. And you and I are very mainstream, like we're not trying to sell you anything. We're trying to help you. And so
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you, Zanthea, and you want to create communities, which means I'm going to end up helping you help everybody, which is really a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah.
So as soon as you put all these pieces together, that you have the same value, they haven't provided you with true informed consent. Therefore, the contract, this metaphysical contract, is invalid. And as the empath, you don't have to pay for something that you're not getting.
Well, what do you do when that contract has been loosely like you take time to realize that that contract's no longer valid and the expectation needs to change and then you
That's
have
it.
to
That's what it is.
do you
So
do that metaphysically first and then the
always,
physical yeah
yes. So
yeah
so I have spent a lot of my years understanding because I've been surrounded by this. Like
mm. Mhm.
there is good reason why you suffer your sufferings in life. Yeah. It has to get really dark so that you can desire the light.
Well yeah
And the
this is what I'm
stronger you
thinking
are, the more
mm.
lifetimes you have come to learn through,
Yes
the
yes yes
stronger
you
you
get
are as your
wiser
soul through
yeah
wisdom,
yeah
the harder, the more suffering you are given
yeah
because you are meant to learn a particular thing. And through the
mm
enlightenment, through the reconciling all that darkness, is for you to learn and seek that
mhm,
one little spark of light and follow that, find the truth and reunite the cosmic truth and the cosmic love together. There are no more
mhm,
conditions. We're
mhm.
following universal laws to a T, and the human mind is relegated back to looking after the body because we have
Yeah
the cosmic mind being
yeah
elevated, yeah, within the human system. Once you accept that that's why you're here, not to try to own a house
oh
and
yeah
you know
or get work your way up the corporate ladder or whatever, or being,
whatever
yeah.
that is, once you realize that that's actually you are the soul of you and that's why you came here, and all the physical manifesting stuff is really just an example for you to track back into thought because everything is mind first, it's metaphysical first, and then it flows down into the physical. So while you're
Mm.
in a relational circuit,
Mm-hmm.
and you recognize, hang on a second. So the moment you recognize, hang
Mm.
on, I didn't agree to that. That
Yes.
I see your twisted truth. That was not present at the beginning of this contract.
Yeah.
And you have a reason to work out, is it an expectation? What are you
Mm-hmm.
expecting? Are you
Mm.
disappointed? Why are you pissed off? Why are you still in that circuit?
Yes.
Yeah. If the truth got twisted, why? Because some relational circuits, the truth gets
'Cause
twisted. You see it
you're
straight
used to
away
it.
and you go, hang on a second. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. And that's not what I agreed to. And you're out. They say, but this is my new condition. And you go, okay, well, I don't agree to a contract. Off you
Well,
go.
there's such a
It's
delay.
called
This is
it's called resigning, it's called breaking up with someone, it's called,
yes.
all of that stuff. So there are some relational circuits that you're very fast to see when the truth is twisted and you walk away. You don't agree anymore. They don't want to come back into the cosmic truth that you agreed to,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
you don't want the twisted truth, so it doesn't work anymore. So why do you stay in a relational circuit? Why would
Yeah.
you stay in one when other ones you don't have to stay in?
Mm.
What's the difference? The difference is that you have an expectation.
That it will be positive, that the potential, there'll be
If you
something that will be
Yeah,
good
if
for
you
you.
wait long enough, they'll
Yeah.
untwist.
Yeah.
If they learn a bit more, if you help them a bit more, if you demonstrate it for them, they'll untwist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
was doing. I was staying in relational circuits much longer from the point at which I was aware this is truth is twisted. I
Mm-hmm.
stayed there because because I care about them. This is why the empath gets trapped, because you care about this person and you want to give them the best opportunity to change. And
Yeah.
then I came to the understanding
Yeah.
when they don't want anything to be different,
Yes.
the
Yes.
best opportunity you can give them because you care about them is to take on your responsibilities to adhere to these universal laws, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. If
your responsibility as the trapped empath is to alter your expectations to be more realistic. So, that means, in my perception of being a teacher, learner, etc., is that if you are interacting with the truth twister and you are getting disappointed, then your expectations are incorrect. They're
mm-hmm.
not realistic. They are in alignment with your love of that person. They're not in alignment with what that person is teaching you via showing you on the television of life.
Yes. Yeah. So I wanted to apply this example. If is that, did you want
Yeah.
to
No,
give it a case?
I think if you changed your expectations to match that life as being the illustration of what they their conditional truth. If you
Mm-hmm.
watch what they're doing and you let them teach you what is their conditional truth, their twisted truth, and you bring your expectation to there, you're not waiting anymore.
Yeah.
And you're not
Yeah.
funding the circuit anymore because you're not waiting anymore. It's like you're on your own, buddy. I've given you time. The wisdom's available. Go source your life force energy somewhere else because that's your responsibility. You need to connect to the creator. You need to stop twisting the truth because liars don't heal and they don't
Mm-hmm.
heal because they don't connect. You can't siphon enough life force energy through another person without the humility and the cosmic truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You will just kill the person. You will kill
Yeah.
them, you'll make them sick. And this is why empaths run away and they hide, and
Yeah.
they themselves have to siphon from other people by, you know, being they are actually the victim, but they don't realize they don't have to be. And that's now
Yeah.
my absolute goal. So we've changed the name of the textbook that I'm now
Yeah.
putting together in its completeness to Empowering the Empath, because that's what I came here to do. And I
Yeah.
had to do it for myself first.
Yes.
So it's no
Untrap
longer
yourself
saying clear channel, healing, all this stuff. Yeah, it's inside the package of taking on your responsibility
as
to
the empath out
as
of
the
that.
empath. Yeah, it's all in the hands of the empath now because
Yeah.
the truth twisters have too much advantage to want to come back into cosmic truth. Their ego is so strong and advantaged because the empaths are not wise enough yet. So
Not
if we
exactly.
empower the
Yeah.
empath with wisdom and
Mm.
explain to them, you have the same value. Here is how you can work out how to make sure you know this, walk that belief into knowing, then use that equal value and the
Mm.
wisdom of understanding informed consent inside these relational contracts, and the power gets taken away because you can take by changing your expectations to what the truth twister is showing you is their truth, their
Mhm.
twisted truth. You have to be able to see the twisted truth, accept that truth is what they are agreeing with, and that is the condition that they're placing into your relational circuitry that you don't agree with because it's not what you began the relationship with, but they are hoping that you will stick around and they will give you signals. Every single one of them in my life has given me signals to get me to stick around, and they just excuse themselves from doing that last part. So they might talk about doing the work, they might talk about the healing, they might try to rationalize what they're doing. You know, I would understand it if, or I'd do it if, waiting, they just keep you on the hook. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to understand this, you do have to go through a few examples of these relational circuits to really see it. But the book I'm writing now, Empowering the Empath, is really to help you recognize what you're experiencing.
Yeah, definitely. And something that's coming up in my life at the moment is this realization that I'm doing that circuit with my corporate client, which I don't want to be in a circuit with anymore because I can see there's a twisted truth
Yeah.
that I was never presented with the project in an honest way, but I
Mm.
still agreed to it. I agreed, but I didn't sign a contract, but I
Right.
verbally agreed to say
You
I can do it.
you signed a metaphysical contract, which is
Yeah.
just as real, it's just not as physical. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now I want to get out of it. So, and I realized when I did do that contract, I was working full time, and this was just a 15 hours a month kind of role. I was happy to do a bit of extra work, but then it has flipped into this being my main job, and the workload increasing 100-fold. Previously, I
Right.
was writing a chapter in the report. I realized this last night too. And
Mm.
then it changed in December because the law changed in Queensland. So that meant that
Right.
that chapter got turned into a report. And what I've realized now is
Oh,
that
wow.
I never had the data from the beginning. And now I'm trying to
Yeah.
make this chapter into a report that's got to be
Uh,
heavily scrutinized and all the rest. So that little untruth is now
yeah.
going to be ex, ex exploded. I don't know what
Exploded.
the word
Yeah, it's
is.
exploded into something
So
else. And
my
they haven't recontracted you.
Correct. And they were still constraining my hours to 15 up until May when I was like trying to write the report, being like, I need more, like, I can't write it in 2 days a month. Like, this is
Yeah.
huge.
2 days a
So,
month. Yeah.
yeah. So, what we've got now is May, June, July, three
Yeah.
months of looking at this report, now realizing I don't think my empath brain, even back then, was going, oh, but you have to do it for them. Like they've been really good. Like they've kept you on. You've moved, blah, blah, blah. They've, the reputational, you want to get this done, don't you? But I wasn't listening to the truth of saying this is not the the project. This is they're not giving you everything. There's too much conditions.
Yeah.
So now I'm in the stage of how do I cosmically resign, which I think I've done through journaling, being present today. I'm purging a little bit. I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
So like I can feel that I know the strength in unplugging. I'm
Yeah.
starting to get stronger. So I guess while you're talking, it's like um don't feel bad for not doing it sooner, not trusting that gut
Oh.
instinct because it's
No,
so
because you have to learn how to do this. This is
yes,
not something, like people talk about, your greatest education comes from your family. Yeah.
yeah.
So every family culture teaches, like, old people who have old money, they know how
Mm,
to deal with money. They're not frightened of money. It doesn't burn a hole in their pocket. People
yeah.
who have lived really poor and they've never been taught anything about money, they don't understand what disaster it can create for you if you don't treat it with respect and you don't
Mm,
understand what happens to your
mm,
life with an
mm,
insertion of increased money. um so people with old money will never change their lifestyle level depending on the money that they have, because that's what it
mm,
means. It doesn't burn a hole in your pocket. People who are born into families that don't have a lot of money, they don't understand that you don't increase your standard of living. You keep it at the needs level. It doesn't matter how
mm,
much money you have, because if you increase your standard of living to the money, it's more than likely the flow of the money doesn't stay the same for the rest of your life. Does that make
mm,
sense? So it burns a hole in your pocket in the sense that you go buy a boat and you private
mm,
jet and blah blah blah
mm,
because you won Tats Lotto, but you don't know that it's very hard to come down in your standard of living. It's very hard to sell the boat. It's hard to sell the jet, and it costs a lot of money to run those things.
yeah.
And just having them in your life, the feeling of having them in your life is very temporary unless you have this constancy flow of money. And so I mean, this topic's not about money. It's about your education comes through your family. So whether the
Mm,
topic is money or whether the topic is humility or whether the topic is truth or whether the topic is lying or, you learn this through your family. And I'm
mm-hmm.
not quite sure why I said that in the first place, but it's relevant to what you
I
were
think
saying.
the relationship and not triggering, not realizing that you're in a circuit because you say yes to everything when you're in that maybe that mindset of somebody wants you, so you need to give them what they want, or like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like that do two jobs. Like I've worked two jobs for like so long. Like I always worked full time and then had extra work. So I
right,
had three jobs growing up. I was always babysitting or working at
mm,
Blockbuster. Like, so it
right,
was always
right.
get more money, you say yes to money. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why
So
that
that's
came
so
up.
that's the education that you bring into the world. And oh, that's where it started because you said I'm learning not to, pay out on myself or criticize myself for not
Well,
doing it earlier.
because I
Because
felt it.
how are you supposed to do it earlier if you don't have an example to test out this growing self? So you're
Mm.
which is a good segue into what we want to talk about
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
In terms of when you come this is my intention with my helping and teaching people is that you've done your normal schooling, but you have original teachings from your family that
Mm,
have been
mm,
passed down through generation after generation after generation. They're not necessarily helping you adapt into the new cosmic environment.
yeah.
Yeah. And so these are presenting as relational circuits that have twisted truth, but you don't
Mm,
know that they're twisted truth because you don't have anything to compare them to.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't know.
So my job, because I've uniquely probably had a metaphysical presence to guide me through my curriculum.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
now I present in the physical world to guide others through their curriculum. And the
Hmm.
goal is coherence.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what words we use. It doesn't matter what system you want to align yourself to, whether it's a religion or whether it's science or whatever. Whatever it takes to get to coherence, which is a
Mm,
state, a physical state of
hmm.
mind. Really
Hmm.
interesting, right? So we're all metaphysical. Everything is mind that then manifests. How it manifests in your body, in your life, in your relationships is due to the beliefs that you hold in your mind. If you remove all of the beliefs in line with, say, Buddhism, etc., you have no expectations, you have no beliefs, that's what they're talking about, then you will be cosmically aligned, but you will
Mhm.
also not really be able to function in life. So there's a balance between it. Yes, you want to keep some of those beliefs, but no, you don't want to keep all of those beliefs. And it's not about keeping the ones that allow your ego to take advantage of life and accrue physicalness. It's the goal is not the having of stuff. The goal is to be completely embraced and interwoven with the cosmic unity consciousness. It becomes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so how do you know which beliefs don't belong?
Because it's like the belief was like you want to do better, you want to have this experience, like you want to be able to prove that you can do it, this report, I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
And you were relying on your parental inheritance
have a job.
to get
Yeah.
you there. Yeah. To get that goal to happen. But as you grow in the world and you test out all of these strategies and you work out how effective they are and how not effective they are, the ones that bring you out of coherence, out of that feeling of peace, you
Mm.
don't have joy, you don't have this life running through you, those are inhibiting your coherence. They're the
Yeah.
ones that have twisted truth. They have the most twisted truth. So
An
they're the
example.
ones that we start to use because we can see them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we
Probably this
use
one.
the new
Mhm.
strategy of coming closer and being more embraced and interwoven with this feeling of coherence. This is
Mm.
what the biomechanical body is. It's to help you feel when you are, what I say, on the line of coherence, truth and love, yeah? Cosmic truth and love. This is a coherent space and it's
Oh,
very
for sure.
safe and protected and peaceful.
Good.
And
You
when
can just
you
see by your
when you
actions.
when
Yeah.
you're embraced and interwoven with that, that's cosmic unity consciousness. That's what you're
Mm.
aiming for. And whenever a belief pulls you off that, and you're over here instead of here, and you don't feel the coherence much.
Yeah,
You
for an
need to
example, when they
remember what that
call and
is.
yes, you can feel it like if they call or they message, you get an email from that client and I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear, I don't like I'm not I don't want to my body rejects you.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's
like,
how it
yeah,
feels.
yeah. Your body is telling you, I don't want to get out of my bubble.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it's
that's
like
what I want
when it's cold outside and you're warm in bed, you haven't put the heater on in the house, and your
to.
alarm goes off, and you I
Mhm.
don't want to get out of bed. It's the same feeling. You feel
Yeah.
peaceful, you feel calm, you feel regulated, right? So if you want to talk um, physical kind of words, it's nervous system dysregulation is your key to understanding that you have in the mental space a belief that you're emotionally attached to,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I might say it's a frequency magnet because it pulls
Mhm.
things towards you of the same frequency, and it's
Mhm.
crying, and
Mhm.
you don't want to go over there where it's crying, but it's triggered.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it feels like it's complicated. It's actually not complicated. We have
Mhm.
all of these physical world and internal body senses, and there are many ways to find out, to see, to become aware that you have something taking you away from your natural state of coherence, your
Mhm.
natural state of peace. We have lots and lots of words for the same thing. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you want to resolve it. You want to reconcile it. The only way to reconcile, you don't see the modern way of reconciliation is compromise. Did you know
Right.
that?
Well,
So you have
I'm
two
already
parties
thinking
that are
about
not getting along and you make a compromise, which means they both of them win a little and both of them lose a little.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm thinking about
That's
how to
that's
present this.
modern. That's the modern world of reconciliation. So when you say I'm interested in reconciliation, people basically think of you as a moderator,
Yeah.
yeah, in an argument. But that's not metaphysical reconciliation with yourself. You are the cosmic consciousness perception. That's the spark of God that's talked about in traditional spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're reconciling to. So your
Hmm.
ego has taken you, attached to ideas, and said, these are the conditions of these contexts that we live in. Like your
Yeah.
parents showed you those conditions. If you want
Yeah.
money, you have to give up your time. And if you want more money, you got to give up your soul, right? That
Um,
they were conditions that were shown to you. If you just
mhm.
do a manual labor job, you're just swapping time for your physical actions. You only get this much money. But if you give over your mind, you get this level. And if you sell your soul to the company, you stay there forever and your whole focus is for them, you'll make the big bucks. That's a lie.
I hated it always. I always knew that wasn't
But
true.
that's a lie that was twisted truth. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not true.
Hmm.
That's one way that some people have done it. It means
Yeah.
it's a compromised truth. And so you don't, the cosmic creator doesn't compromise. If, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I say, if you're 1% asshole, you might as well be 100%
Mm-hmm.
because it's all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
Mm-hmm.
Sagittarian in me really understands this. It is all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the level of commitment that you have for being on the side of yourself, right? You are the soul. If you're going to stand up for yourself, you have to make your ego not be attached to these ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Have them
Oh,
if they work And what is the definition of working?
Well, that was what
Coherence.
was keeping me going. The belief like I needed to have a job, I need to have an income every month. I need to just get
Mm,
this report done and then it'll be done. Then it'll be done. Then we can be free.
mm.
Money, like make the, keep going till that like next, month thing. And
And
then
you
it's like,
and you've proven, because that's
right.
doing that process, you're walking that belief into your life, right? You're living by that belief, which is
Mm,
ideological living.
mm,
And what did you prove? It doesn't work that way. It's the
right.
other way around. You
Mm,
have to free yourself from that relational circuit first, metaphysically, by understanding the truth. The cosmic truth has been twisted here. The
mm,
contracted agreement has been
mm,
twisted, and I am adhering to the original truth of the
mm,
contract, but they're not. They've twisted the truth, which
mm,
means the contract is not valid. If I want to get out, I can.
mhm.
Yeah?
But then I feel like it wasn't them. It was also the law, the legal thing
Yeah.
changed.
No,
And
no,
so they,
no. They needed to recontract you because the law changed.
yeah,
They
we're
have a
good.
contract that is demanding them to do something different. So the government changed the law. So
Mm,
their contract with the government changed. They
mm,
needed to speak to you about it and say, okay, we have what we have up until now, but now the law's changed and now we need to achieve this.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because I
We
didn't
we
realize
want
how
to
bad it was.
we want to recontract you, but maybe nobody knew.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I don't think until I started writing the report. So I need to take that off as a judgment on myself that you should
And
have done
them.
everything you, you
and
know,
them and
and
them.
then, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And so it's not a matter of blame. It's never a matter of blame because blame just doesn't get you anywhere.
mhm.
Blame is like installing a new expectation of someone else doing something in lieu of you doing it, really. It's like walking away from a responsibility, blame.
Mm,
So it is about responsibility rather than blame, because blame is trying to look away from the responsibility, and taking on your responsibility is the right thing to be doing. Yeah. But to work out exactly what your responsibility is, what their responsibility is, that's the key.
mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
And
mhm.
that's why we're seeking not to twist the truth, but to find what the truth is. Because when we're living according to the truth, the cosmic truth, where everyone is holding their own and take not it's not about working on your own. It's about everyone takes on their complete set of responsibilities in the
Yeah.
relational circuits. So the truth twister must untwist the truth. And the empath must understand their responsibilities, which is not to behave according to a previous agreement that is no longer valid because it's not the truth has been twisted into something else. So why is the empath still giving attention in that relational circuit? It's just as much the empath's responsibility to keep their expectations malleable.
Mm,
Yeah. So this
mhm,
is the key. And remember again, we're not talking about blame. We're talking
mm.
about working out what the responsibilities are of the beings who come into relational circuitry.
Yeah.
So if you are in a relational circuit, which everyone is because no one's a recluse and you've had parents, right? So
Mm,
this earthly life is all about relational circuitry.
mhm,
If you're in a relational circuit that doesn't feel harmonious, peaceful, coherent,
mhm,
then there's like a stock take that has to be done.
mhm,
Yeah. Who is giving into the circuit? They're the
mhm,
ones who are going to be saying, hang on, something's wrong.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
So the person who feels that something's wrong must, because you know first, which means you have to go first. People,
mm.
my whole entire life, people have been winning, but why is it me? I mean, sometimes it's been me going, why do I have to do it?
Yeah.
Because you can, because you know, you've recognized there's a problem. So you must stick with what your responsibilities are. And for the empath who's the giver in the circuitry, you must only give what you contracted, what you agreed in that
Mm,
circuit. If you're giving more than what sometimes an empath will give far more than what
mm.
was agreed to.
But it's been loosely, like verbally
Like
kind of.
how many times have you seen in movies where they've portrayed one character in a relationship going overboard and the other one and then complaining that the other one doesn't give as much because they're being comparative and the character they're imploring to give more says this is not what I agreed to. I told you in the beginning, this is my limit.
Mm,
Right?
mm,
So sometimes it's the responsibility of the empath to make sure they don't have expectations that have been set up outside of that current relational circuitry and they're bringing in something extra.
mm,
Like you can't say to your boss, but I did all this extra work. You have to pay me for it. And the boss says, but I didn't ask you to do that work. We are
mhm,
contracted for this much work.
mhm, mhm,
The one that said that's given outside and over and above and then wants to be paid for it is not taking on their responsibilities correctly
yeah, because we
because
got to.
the agreement was this much and then
Mhm,
you get paid this much. And so
mhm,
that's what you've got to do. And if you
mhm,
want to recontract, you have to talk about it first. So there's
mhm.
all these expectations that are coming in from the players in the relational circuit. And I
Well,
truly, truly had coming to an understanding that every relational circuit you have is an opportunity for the overgiver to change their expectations so that they don't overgive. They just give, they give everything that they agreed to give. And they expect the other half of the relationship to give them what they agreed to give. So we're keeping each other accountable.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah, because why does one need a teacher, a living teacher, to learn how to do this? Because you need someone to keep you accountable as you learn to become accountable. And
mhm,
then once you understand that coherence is
mhm,
felt when you take on your full responsibility, and part of that is to make sure the other part of the relational circuit is doing the same thing, which
mhm,
means you must allow the truth twister in the
mhm,
relational circuit, which could be you or could be the other part. You have to allow them to teach you. So you have turned the corner with your job thing to allow the job requirements to teach you what the current truth is, the twisted
mhm,
truth. You go, hang on, no, 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 no. That, what's coming at me is not what I'm expecting. So you've had to work out which part of this expectation has come from you. And if it's coming from something stuck within your mental space, that you're expecting something that's not been stated in this current work relationship, you have to go back to that original expectation. Where did that come from? Why is that sticking with you? Because it's making you see an illusion or perceive an illusion. Or
mhm.
is it the other player in that relational circuit? Have they twisted the truth? Or could it be that we just weren't with it? We just expected it would be something different. It's turned into this. And
I don't know.
it's not about blame. It's about
Mm.
balancing the books so that you come back into either a coherent relational circuit or you
Maybe I
drop the
thought I could do
circuit.
it, and I can't. I'm not as,
Or
you
maybe you
know,
didn't, maybe you thought that you were informed enough about what it was.
yeah.
I don't
Uh-huh.
know. Like only you can tell what expectation is outside of what's being presented. That makes
Mm,
sense? Because like I keep telling people the truth, whether it's twisted away from the cosmic truth or not, is demonstrated in behavior.
mm, mm.
Yeah. So whether the person is prepared or not prepared, like I have lived an example in recent times where a person, I was in a relational circuit with a person who was rather undefined kind of relational circuit, it just sort of grew over time. And there were certain roles being played. I don't think either of us were having problems in
Mm.
that relational circuit. It was fine. Then something was said, that triggered the other person. Their behavior became very, very conditional to something, but there were no words spoken. So I just had to rely on watching. So I
Mm.
watched as an empath because I am one and I can receive information more than just what I see and what I hear. And I gathered all the information to understand what the twisted truth is. Yeah. But I also, at the same time, took on my responsibility every time in that demonstration of this twisted truth. Every time it triggered me, I went into myself to find out what did I believe, what had I been expecting that I'm now being shown is not going to be met. So even though I know that the untriggered behavior and therefore truth of this person is something that I like and have agreed with in that relational circuitry, the triggered behavior that was being demonstrated, I don't like, I don't agree with, and I don't want to receive that because
Mm.
it's being demonstrated, which means it is a truth. It's a human truth. It's not a cosmic truth. It's twisted away from what I had been shown was the truth previously. So here is more information for me to process. And as I was demonstrated this now twisted truth, because I was not shown it ever before, I'm now having to accept it as that demonstration is teaching me what to now expect. So I had to change my expectations every single week that I saw this person and watched their behavior. I would have to come away and if I was upset in any way, I had to work out where that upset was coming from because it was an interaction with a new truth being demonstrated, a
Mhm.
human truth being demonstrated, and what I expected. So I didn't expect any of this. So I had to change my expectations. Once I
Yeah.
had the full picture and I was now expecting that while this person was in a triggered state, then I was able to observe this person in a less triggered state, less and less and less triggered state. So then I got to catalog all of that demonstration of their truth as their truth, the human truth, which is twisted away from the cosmic truth.
Yeah.
And then once I had all that cataloged and understood that, then I got to the point where I was taught by Mother God talking to me, explaining to me that if I have an expectation of this other person untwisting their human truth, then I'm putting pressure on them to be something that they aren't.
Mm.
Or maybe they
Mm.
can't. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe I'm expecting them to do something that's like miraculous for them. They have no idea how to do it. So it's like, okay, well, metaphysically, that's going to have an effect. So why that's kind of like a judgment, isn't it? To expect someone to do something that maybe if they're not doing it, maybe it's because they can't do it. Maybe
Mm.
it's not fair of me to expect someone to do something. I don't know if they know how to do it. I just want them to do it
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I want cosmic truth to come back into that relational circuit. And I was taught by, the great teacher that metaphysically that has an effect.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was sad that I was going to have to do that, but I needed to do it. Why? I learned that if I change that expectation to not be pushy, not have judgment on the current human truth that he's presented and want I was using expectation to metaphysically push him
Mm,
to do what I wanted. That's my ego wants it easier. I wanted him to
mm,
do the fixing because I was saying in my mind, he broke it. That's a judgment. And that's not for the human mind to put on anyone.
mm,
That is a twist away from the cosmic truth.
mm,
Yeah, because where there's judgment, there's no healing.
mm,
So metaphysically, if I can pick up him, he can maybe pick up me. So he's feeling that judgment. It's a
mm,
should. And that is a twist away from cosmic truth. So I needed to come back into this alignment with cosmic truth, which is to just let it be. Let it
mm,
be. And
mm.
don't use my expectations to be like a demand, a metaphysical demand on someone else. So I changed my expectation to no longer expect him to do this or do that, do as you are led to do.
So I don't have time though. I have all these due dates that they're throwing at me with this
You don't
example
have
that I
time for what?
to metaphysically let it sort out. Well,
Well,
unless
no, the metaphysical sorting is done by your decision making. It's like
yeah,
that. It happens
okay.
like that. You just have to understand what decision you need to make, and then you
Mm,
make it.
mm,
So you don't have time to let it play. It's going to play out anyway, though, whether you're
okay.
pushy in your expectations or not. In fact, your expectations, because they're of the human mind,
Mm,
trying to have effect through your mind.
mm,
Yeah, that's stopping the flow of everything happening.
mm,
Because what's meant to happen is going to happen. But I'm not
mm,
saying that this experience with me is exactly overlaid to the experience with you. What I'm saying is this is how I learned what changing your expectations as the empath in
mm,
this circuitry can do in the circuit, the effect that it can have. So I ended up by no longer expecting him to untwist and come back
mm,
to cosmic truth in that circuit, because that wouldn't that be convenient for me not to do any work or do any further learning.
mm,
When I took that away, what I found I had done was I defunded that circuit.
mm,
I
mhm,
didn't realize. I didn't realize the effect of that. So
mm,
the circuit can still exist. I'm still
mm,
metaphysically standing there in that circuit. It's not like I don't know this person. I know
mm,
them, but I'm not channeling energy into this circuit.
mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
So therefore, I'm not giving away, I'm not paying with my focus, I'm not paying with my attention into this circuit. If the circuit wants to exist because both people in the circuit want to pay into it and be very upfront and define the parameters of this relational circuit, I'm up with that. There's no problem. But while the truth is twisted, and the truth twister doesn't want to unravel that truth and bring it back into cosmic alignment, I have no time for that circuit.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Like, so that's how I learned what I learned with understanding the metaphysics of the relational circuit. And there's
Mhm.
more to come because more will be demonstrated to me. But
Yeah.
it does pair back to, but the empath is not the victim.
Mm, mhm.
And the truth twister may be seeing themselves as a victim, but not of that relational circuit. It's a childhood one. It's a previous
Yeah.
relational circuit that they were the empath in. So they have been a
Mm,
victim. They don't have to
mm,
be the victim. They don't have to twist the truth. They don't have to make someone else into a victim. We don't have to.
mm,
We
mhm.
have been. We've all been doing that. That's the karmic cycle. That's multi-generational trauma. We have so many words for it, but that's essentially what we've been doing generation after generation. That's the family inheritance. And
Yeah.
these twisted
Hmm.
truths, right? That we experience them and then we place them into these other relational circuits. And it's a journey to figure out which bits. That's like walking the beliefs into your life to find out whether they fit into your knowing that this helps me feel more coherent and peaceful and aligned. And if it doesn't, then you need to come to an understanding of where is my power being taken away and is that valid? And how do my expectations play a role in all of this? And you start moving things around in your mind, and things in your body and in your life do change.
I hope
That's the
so.
power.
It,
That's the power of the human being.
yeah,
We
because
are
when it's a
creators.
contractual arrangement where you have to, make things like clear and it's like legal and like
Yeah.
it could get worse. It could get, a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot
stuff.
to
My mind's on
consider.
this because I've got to make a decision I know what decision I'm making. I've made the
Yeah.
decision, but I
Okay.
have to
Yeah, yeah.
explain it. And I'm nervous about that because you don't
Explain
want to
it.
wait, but you don't, yeah, because I can't
Mm.
just unhitch my energy circuit metaphysically because I've still got to do it in the physical. Like I've got to tell
No, but
them,
you're misunderstanding the relationship between the two.
okay, I
So
don't know. I thought I was like
your commitment
it
is
works
to,
up harder to understand, that's for
yeah,
sure.
it is harder to understand, but your alteration in the metaphysical will have effect in the physical, but you don't have to control that effect. If you're
Mm,
metaphysical first and you have made a decision that you are no longer consenting to future relational circuitry to do with that, you don't want to be in those relationships, those work relationships.
mm,
Yeah. So from this point in time, you're not going to build another relational circuit that has the detail, the context of that corporate work because you don't want that anymore. That
mm,
doesn't mean that you don't have a responsibility for the contracts that you have agreed to. You do.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because changing it metaphysically from now is for your future contracts. Now you have to fulfill your commitments that other people are waiting for you to fulfill. You can't just walk away. You have to
But that's
clean
what I
up
want to
the
do.
bag. The story crossing the river, the raging river of awareness in Millennium Valley.
I honestly just want to walk away. Like I'm at that
Yeah, of
point.
course you want to walk away, but
I
you still have a responsibility
it's a
because
contract.
you agreed to it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like
if you walk away in the physical, then you are at fault in the metaphysical, and that will carry forward into your physical life. That will cause you to have to realign yourself. You will lose your peacefulness if you don't fulfill the agreement that you have. Now, if the
that's the whole
contract,
decision that I'll be making is that I
sorry,
don't want to fulfill the commitment. That's the decision I've made.
that you
Like,
don't want to continue the contract.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, so then you have to come into renegotiating that contract in the physical
Yeah.
because it
I have
has
to,
landed in the physical and you're working in the physical.
yeah.
Yeah, which means if you believe that you cannot fulfill that contract
Mm,
in terms of capability, you
mm,
need to come back into the players that have this relational circuitry and you
mm,
must express yourself of what is your truth.
mm, mm,
Yeah. And you
mm,
have to renegotiate that contract and you have to come into that renegotiating in the physical with
mm.
having changed something in the metaphysical, that you're no longer going to enter into these contracts. That doesn't automatically mean that you get to exit the ones that you've agreed to.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same as, you know, husband or wife, pick whichever, comes home one day and says, "That's it. I've had enough. I don't want to be married anymore. I'm leaving."
Yeah. No,
That,
I've had that done to me. No, I don't want that.
right.
Not
So,
marrying.
so that
Divorcing.
example, that's a contract. It's a
Mm,
relational contract where one person has just decided, "I don't want to do it anymore,"
mm,
without renegotiating. They just
mm,
leave it. Yeah.
mm, mm,
That's lack of responsibility. The
mm,
only way to release yourself from that actual contract is that you sit down and you verbalize all of what you understand is happening now, what you do not want to continue into the future, and how do we all work out something that is going to not leave people in the lurch. It doesn't mean that you don't have any power, but you do
mm,
have responsibility, because if you walk away, then you are going to have to bring that weather with you into your future, that you did something so
mm,
incoherent, yeah,
mm,
that you're going to have another example for you to do the thing that you didn't do.
mm,
Yeah. The reason why you just want to run away from it is because you don't want to enter into the learning that has to happen in the renegotiation.
mm. That's not
That's,
fun.
it's
Fun.
not fun. No, it's not fun, but it's part of being human. We live in a three-dimensional world, but our power is in the fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We are metaphysical first. So you make yourself robust by bringing yourself into coherence and trying to remain there all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So making the decision that you no longer want to work corporate is great. You won't enter into any other corporate relational contracts from this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might be tested on that one
Mm-hmm.
because you might be offered a really great corporate contract just to
Mm-hmm.
test your metaphysical resolve. But that has no effect other than if you go into renegotiation and they say, okay, well, we accept your resignation. Then they start to try to create a new contract. Then your metaphysical decision applies from there. But until you have gone into the renegotiation in the physical, you have a contract.
I actually
You
don't.
can't just walk out of the marriage. You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a contract. You have a responsibility. Does it mean that you can't alter the contract? I don't know. You have to work within the parameters of the law of the land. Like, what
Mm.
have you signed? What have you
Looks like
promised? Yeah, that's that you have to take that into consideration. What have they signed? What have they promised?
I don't know.
You have to find out what they are committed to legally, what you are committed to legally. Go and have a talk with the person who employs you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And find out, have the discussion and just say, look, I can't do it.
Mm,
I've
mm,
discovered not only do I not want to do it anymore, I can't do it. And
mhm,
and go back to what you were originally agreeing to.
mhm,
The
mhm,
fact that the law changed makes no difference to you.
mm,
You agreed to X, and now
mhm,
they're asking you to do Y.
But I
And
should have said that and that I didn't.
you should have said what? Something you didn't know to say.
Yeah, like I should have been like, well, let's do a new contract because now you want X. But I just was
But
like,
they are. They didn't. They were asking you to do something different. But did they tell you what that was?
no, they're just like, this is the new laws, so go figure it out. Go work out how much, what that will entail.
Okay.
But
And
they
what
never
did you
asked.
say? And what did you say? Okay, I'll go figure it out. Well, now you've got to the point where you figured it out. Now you need to
Yeah.
come back into communication with them and say, you know how you said this is the new law, go figure it out. Well, I've figured it out. I'm not your person.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you what it is that needs to be done because I went and figured it out. But
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not up to speed with being able to do it. I haven't been given all the information. I'm trying to make something out of nothing. It's not possible to be done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So you this
So
is
then,
clarity. This is the clarity of language and bringing it into the physical that's really important. It has
yeah.
to be informed consent for
Yeah.
any contractual relationship. Every
Mm-hmm.
relationship is a contract. The circuit is a contract. Whether it's spoken about or not, it evolves into being a contract. If anyone in that relationship circuit, that contract, is not happy with how it's going, then it needs to be brought into the physical and detailed out.
So
You,
as humans, we avoid pain. So we avoid this
yeah.
conversation, renegotiation, and
But
then
why is it pain? Why do you perceive it as pain?
because you're
See,
letting other people
I don't,
down.
but
You don't
no,
know.
not necessarily. You don't know
Because
that. Are they not
oh,
letting you down? Have they not been letting you down by just not giving you any support and just presuming that you can do anything? That
mm,
maybe they're asking more of you because they need it, not because it's appropriate to ask you to do it.
mm,
There's not a lot of care given
that's
to
the pain.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I know,
so
and for the
I
community too.
but I don't if
Yeah.
I was in that situation, I would not presume that I'm going to let someone down. I am going into that communication to find out what the truth is. Because the
Mm,
truth to me feels more coherent than anything in the world, even if it sucks.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Did you not see me all up in the air in the last few days? I don't understand what the proximity with this person is. I don't understand where it sits, etc., etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, I have the understanding that came through yesterday
mm.
morning. I have this understanding that came through. Would I have wished for where I'm at in that relational circuit?
No, I
You've
don't think
heard
so.
me talking about this relational circuit for the last 3 months, 4 months,
Mhm.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do I wish what's actually happening? Do I wish for it to be the way that it is?
I don't know. I mean,
No, I
so
don't. No, it's not to do with what I want.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I get more joy, peace, coherence when it comes into a space of cosmic truth and cosmic love.
Mhm,
It's not about
mhm.
what I want. Does it
Mm.
cause me pain? Maybe 5 minutes until I
Does it
realize
challenge?
the truth.
Yeah, so these
That's the
things challenge your
challenge.
ego. Yeah, so you don't want to go into it, so you don't want to do it like me. I don't,
Right,
I'm like,
right.
oh,
So your expectation of what it's going to manifest as, which is
mm,
blame,
let
letting people
down.
down, all this negative stuff, that's coming from a previous relational circuit that the truth was twisted and you
Mm,
accepted that as truth. It's not the truth. Because if it's not my truth and it's your truth, then it's a human truth. It's a twisted truth.
mm,
If it's
mm,
not the same for every single person all the time or anywhere in any context, it's a twisted truth. It's a man-made truth. It is not true that you go into a communication with people who you're in a circuit with and you are letting them down. Not true.
mhm,
It might be
mhm,
part of it. They might be okay with it. You don't know. But you've been trained. Your
mm,
familial inheritance has trained you
yeah.
in a relational circuit
Mm,
that if you come in to renegotiate and you know that you are going to want something different than what they want, you're going to be blamed, you're going to be made to feel guilty, you're going to push you down. Yeah,
all of it. Yeah, yeah.
right. So that's your expectation. Is that true all the time? I know it's your
Mm,
expectation because I felt it come through you. And I, in a relational circuit with you, have many times had to say to you, this is not blame. This is just what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have had to come up against that twisted truth in you.
Mhm.
When you didn't want to tell me something because you were expecting me to blame you. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you've
Yeah.
had to learn that in our relational circuit, you don't expect that. Is that
Mhm.
true?
Mhm. Mhm.
There might be a little element like, oh, sorry, I didn't get online. I wasn't
Mhm.
there. Ah,
Mhm.
do I ever overreact and say, oh, no, 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 no. No, it
Mhm.
just is what it is. Yeah. So that it must be proof enough to you that in not all relational circuits is your twisted truth.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
only perhaps in that one. And you're
Yeah.
just bringing along into every other one
Mhm.
because this is the way you be an empath. Your
Mhm.
familial inheritance taught you how to be an empath, and it's not true.
Mhm.
You were taught that in your sensitive, generous, helpful disposition of living, that you have to do as you're told, you have to give the energy into the circuit, that you have to always give what they desire. Your desires are second best, second, lower level. What else how else are you supposed to be an empath? You're meant to do everything that they want. You're meant to even like make miracles happen, to do things that other people want you to do, and they don't actually give you time for learning. They just expect perfection straight away, and otherwise you'll be blamed for not doing it properly.
Mhm.
None of this is cosmic truth.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know. I
it's all twisted
know.
truth, right? But it's not, and even when you said I know right then,
Mhm.
that same frequency is being applied to me explaining this to you. Because I just heard it in your tone. Yeah, I know. Which means if I expand on what you fully were telling me in that I know statement, is I know I should be better. I should have already learned this. I should. I should be perfect already.
Mhm.
And I'm here to tell you now, honey, if you were perfect, you'd have your own apprentice. You would not be an apprentice. This is a process of
Mhm.
upgrading and learning and learning and learning. And you can only learn through, say, someone like me mirroring the cosmic truth for you so that you can see the inadequacy of the twisted truth.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah?
I can see it.
Bit by bit by bit by bit. That's how
Yeah.
it works. So if
Mhm.
you are an empath and you're
Yeah.
listening to this, um, take your
Easy.
responsibility seriously, right? To iron out these expectations. They've been gifted to you, attached to belonging to your family. You love your family. And I went through this too. I mean, I wrote a song about it. It's called Just a Sliver, where I would see the twisted truth and I wouldn't agree with it, but it came from my father and I knew I would have to remove it from myself. But of course, because it came from my one and only physical parent in my life, I don't want to let it go because
Mhm.
it's like an attachment thing. But I had to just let it go because I couldn't live with it in me. I couldn't live with an incoherence in my system. And
Mhm.
so I did it little by little by little by little.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. But I didn't have anyone to mirror it for me. I had to use everyone to mirror that for me. So I had Harry,
Mhm.
best
Yeah.
mirror in the world. Yeah. And so but I had to take on the responsibility to keep pushing past the pain to get to the pleasure of coherence,
Yeah.
the
Harmony.
joy and that peacefulness of coherence. And that's what we must do. We must push past what we expect to be painful. Because you'll
Mm.
find that if you take on your responsibility, the true responsibility that the empath has, we have so much power of knowing,
Mm.
so much power of knowing. If you just realign your expectations to what actually is the truth and let life teach you what the truth is in each relational circuit. Stop trying to predict what will happen based on an original relational circuit. This is what the human mind does, the prediction machine.
The past, yeah, because that's
Yeah.
like truth, right? The
Well,
the not
apparently,
the human
apparent
truth.
truth, yeah, it's expected truth. It's like twisted expected truth. And
Which
so
is
this is the
incorporated.
responsibility of the empath is to iron this out so that you can come into your power. You can
Mm,
realize your value.
yeah.
We have so much value, the empath. But
Mm,
while you're trapped inside the human mind, expecting what happened to you in the past is going to happen to you in the future, you lose all your authority.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's all it is, or the healing. That's all it is. It's a use whatever methodology you're going to use. You've got to change your expectations of circuitry that you've learned from in the past of how to be you and stop predicting that into your future circuitry.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
I use the earth method. I just,
mm,
old truth, cosmic truth, they don't match. Which one do you want?
mhm,
Yeah, and I
mhm,
do it in a particular way that allows for the nervous system to be peaking when you make that decision. Just like you yesterday, you came to this point where
mhm,
you came to a point of decision,
mhm,
yeah, and I doubt that you're going to go back on that decision because it came from a pure place of yourself. But now
mhm.
you have to navigate, okay,
Yeah, I
how
hate
do
this
I
part.
let that roll into the future?
Mm,
So now what's coming forward is the fear of
mm,
the old way that you've been treated, expecting that to come into this relational circuit.
mm,
So
mm,
before you take action, maybe you need to go and investigate again a little
mm.
deeper. Why? Why do you expect to be taken advantage of? Where did that come from?
Well,
Was
they're
that
just upsetting
actually
other
true?
person. I think
Was
it's
it
natural.
actually true?
Yeah, that there will be conflict. Like there's going to be
Well, no, there will
ups.
be discussion. There will be
Yeah.
discussion for sure because
Mm,
you're going to talk.
mm,
You cannot ex have an expectation of their reaction.
mm,
You
mm,
can't you can't expect your like at the moment you're expecting your fears into the conversation. Yeah,
mm,
like I was expecting the untwisting of the traumatized truth. I
mhm,
was expecting that to kind of force it.
mm.
Yeah. I had to take away all expectation. Do as you please. It will just be what it is. And
Yeah.
when I'm presented with it, I'll deal with it then.
Mm,
Yeah. That took the energy out of that circuit. So, what
mm,
change can you make in your expectation to take that fear energy, which is focus, out of this circuit?
mm,
That's the little thing that's presenting as a conundrum. If
mm.
you can
How to do it
understand,
gracefully. How to really like, you know,
yeah,
be
how to
mindful.
exit that contract gracefully. Well, you need to work out what the truth is because the real truth is your ally. Your
Mm,
fear expected twisted truth, that's not your ally, not your friend.
mm.
Because whatever happens according to the truth, you'll deal with it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, if you come to them with your truth, nothing to do with trying to soften the blow for them or make sure they don't pay out on you. If they're going to yell at you, they're going to yell at you. If you're going to feel bad, you're going to feel bad. What is the truth? What is your truth?
I'm not the right person for this job.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you got to tell them. I
Mm,
have done as you've asked. I
mm.
I tried. I tried when it was just a section of the report. I've come up against problem after problem after problem. I am not your person.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm
That's
not. That's your
because,
truth. Does that feel
you
coherent?
know, it's just
Yeah,
like a team
that's
of
so
20
don't
people working on this.
so
Not
yeah. It's like
yeah.
it's not me, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm the person who wants to go out and talk to people and help
Yeah.
resolution happen. I'm not
Yeah.
the person who is going to process the data that's non-existent for a report that's all legally based. And say, I'm not your person. I'm
Yeah.
hating doing this work and I don't have the skills, I don't have the practice, I don't know. I can't help you because I'm not your person.
And that takes a level of my humility because at the start I thought I was, because I thought
Yeah.
I
So
wanted.
this is your responsibility, right? Your coherent truth needs to be
Mm,
expressed to them, which is
mm,
I'm not the right person for this job. I have tried, I've tried, I've tried. I've even, you can even say, I left the job and
yeah,
you asked me to come back in, which
yeah.
told me, yes, I am the person for this job. But the truth is, I'm not.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you would be better off paying someone who can actually do it than just
Yeah.
doing what's easy, trying to bring someone back who is me, thinking that
Yeah.
if you give me another
Another.
opportunity to do it, I'll do it better that time. I didn't do it well the first time. And that's why I left it because I wasn't enjoying it because I wasn't doing it well. I'm not the
Mm,
person for the job. If that's your coherent truth,
mm,
yeah, as the giver in this relational circuit, you
mm,
have a responsibility to communicate that truth to them.
mhm, mhm.
What they do with that, sure, they might be disappointed. They were hoping that it would be you.
Disappointment. I don't want disappoint. That's yeah. I hate
You
not
can't
hate.
save people from their disappointment because people
Yeah.
expect things outside of what's realistic.
That's the
Like
opposite.
I expected Harry to untwist the truth. And I
Yeah.
discovered, because my mother told me, that is very unrealistic. Because what's he demonstrating to you? He
Yeah.
doesn't know what to do. He's
Mhm,
demonstrating he doesn't know how to do it. He
mhm.
can't do it. He's restricted. He's caught up. He wants to run away, and he ran away. Yeah?
Yes.
So that's what he's showing me his capacity is. If I expect anything more or less or different than that, I'm foolish.
Mm,
Yeah?
mhm,
So this is the level of truth.
mhm.
No one gets to be a victim.
Well,
No
this
one.
is like you were saying before about the familial patterns, is like because I had an unstable childhood, I had to predict my mother's or my
Sure.
father,
Me
my parents'
too.
reactions. Yeah, so this is where it
Too.
comes from because I don't want the disappointment. Yes, I have, put that expectation in my head because it has happened so many times in the past. Like,
That's
and
right.
it,
Absolutely.
I just like,
And that's and that is the human mind doing its job. Yeah?
mm,
But
mm,
if you
mm,
can get the cosmic mind to come and relieve it by just
yeah,
a salve of cosmic truth, right?
mm,
Your human mind can relax.
hmm okay, yeah, it's a very yeah.
Yeah?
To
Allow
do
the cosmic
body
truth to just land in on top
body
of you. You'll feel it being like you said, yeah, that feels like the cosmic truth. That feels coherent. That's
Mhm.
the goal of living life is to live life here in the 3D and the fourth dimension, the whole lot, as coherent as you possibly can. That's the
Well,
clearest, cleanest
how
way to live.
yes, and how do you not doubt that feeling?
Doubt what? The
The
coherence?
coherence. Yeah.
Well, did you
Like,
doubt it when I gave you that example or I asked you that question? You said, I'm not your person. And
but
then
I
you
think
went,
I
and then
needed,
I fed back the same thing. I was just elaborating on what you said. And you went, yeah, yeah, that feels coherent.
but I
So
needed you to be here with me. Like, if I'm doing it on my
no,
own,
I just mirrored what you said. I didn't put words in
but I
your
don't know
mouth.
if I would have got, no, I know that. I'm saying if I, because we had this chat for like what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes beforehand, and then
Yeah.
I got to the point where I realized, like, I'm not the person.
Mm?
Like, I knew that, but I just hadn't
Oh,
had
you
that
didn't want to
realization.
admit it. You just didn't want to admit it.
So I needed
So,
somebody
so
around me to be.
that's to do with your programming about failure.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Because you have relational circuitry, probably with your
Mm,
mother. She has a lot of influence on you about
mm,
failure. You have a responsibility to not fail, apparently.
mm,
But how
mm.
are you supposed to learn if you don't make mistakes, which you consider as failure because your mother gave you that inheritance?
Because
of
it's the
that
money part.
that twisted truth, because it's to do with money. You can fail in other things. Yeah, like she can't demonstrate to you that you're not allowed to fail in relationships because she failed in a relationship. So it's
And she,
okay. But she
yeah,
worked damn hard in her business and she was focused and she put everything, even her children's welfare, on the side while she made money. And that's what she programmed into you, that you must succeed. You cannot fail. You will work hard until you do. And this is so difficult for you to let go of. But all you need to understand in that relational circuit with your mother,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
is that her truth is twisted by her ego because that's what she chose in her life. She demonstrated a twisted truth. You were a child, therefore, you had no informed consent. You lived inside a twisted truth as it being the actual truth. But it isn't the actual truth, it's just one human perception.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
I know.
all. And
Feel that.
it's okay to not have a judgment on it. You don't have to do it. You have been shown one method.
Hmm.
And what you must understand or come to understanding, cosmic alignment is different to egoic perception to make something happen in the physical world. If you're going to live like you are metaphysical first, then you must come to an understanding that in that relational circuit, it's a unique circuit. It's not something to apply into your future.
Yeah,
It just was what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Down
It's
here.
That's the truth. Yeah. You can't undo it. You can't make it different. It was what it was. And
Mhm.
it remains isolated to
Mhm.
that circuit. That's the
Mhm.
truth.
Maybe I need to repeat year 12. I don't know if I'm ready for uni yet. Still got
But
this ego.
well, okay. So we're going to move into the next section. So I think what we should do is we should close this Zoom because it's 2 hours long, this
Oh
live
God.
stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
want to
then
talk.
come back. And I want you to actually talk about part two, which is primary school, secondary school, uni, that concept of your apprenticeship. Okay.
Yeah, or we could do it tomorrow night too. I'll see. Okay, but yeah, we can do it now if you
I think
want.
we should do it now and we'll keep it short and it'll
Okay.
just be a separate one. And I need to go to the bathroom. So that would
Okay.
be
Okay.
cool.
I'll
All
see you
right.
in
So
5.
I'll close
Bye.
this and then we'll open it up again.